So we'll let the Pleiadian Council come through and share what they got to say today. Hello, hello, we are here and we say a good evening to each and every one of you. We thank you individually and collectively for showing up today, for allowing this transmission to occur and opening a bridge to our reality. Every time you humans show up and open to beings like ourselves, there is a tremendous transference of light and energy that allows us both to expand in our connection to and knowing of Source and all that is. And for this we are very appreciative and we thank you. And with that, we ask you, how are you all doing at this time?
Good.
Great.
Thank you.
Very good, yes. So, as beings here to support you in your evolution, it is our pleasure to illuminate any of the ways that you would like to expand yourselves. And we will begin with what is really universal for your expansion from our perspective is aligning with the truth of your own heart. When you can drop into this heart space, you will come to find the great force of the universe lies within you. And it is described by many words, by love, passion, excitement, and whatever you describe it as is not as important as coming to find the force itself. It is a force that is so powerful that it makes any pain or challenge or difficulty worth living through. When you can find those sources that ignite your passion, you enter into this great flow. And this is, in a way, how many of you will come to be living in these future times. When you live in this energy and you allow this energy to move through you, it is as if you are channeling all the time. Because when you can surrender to this force and let go of the conditions of your beliefs and constructs about reality, you will, in a way, move very quickly through this life. You will be able to allow life to guide you in the right directions, and this force becomes very magnetic. For when you are in alignment with the force of joy, the universe can return to you more things to be joyful about. There are not so many laws about your universe, though there is one that is universal to all dimensions, and that is, again, what you put out is what you get back. And so when you live your life from this place of joy again and again, you will be returned that energy. Now, this is also a force that must come to unite you with each other. For if this is a truly balanced joy and love, it will be one that comes to feel with all other beings around you. And in your giving, in your sharing of this energy, you may intend to lift others up into that frequency. You may intend to share that kind of love and energy with many people around you. And that will, again, bring a force of great uniting. The difficulty in your dimension, as all beings go through this phase of evolution, is that you have instead come to be more motivated by what you believe to be would make your survival better. Yet, as you have developed so technologically powerfully, quite quickly, this old survival instinct is now manifesting in ways that are sabotaging you. And this has actually created a split in the human timeline. Now, there are other beings that are coming to your reality now, who have gone down that path of separating from the flow of their heart and being motivated only by their survival nature, and they have become known as what you call greys. Now, these beings are not inherently bad or negative. We do not see anything in the black and white terms that you use in your reality to describe such things as evil. These beings were simply ill-informed. They evolved to a point where they mutated with their technology, and they had very advanced technology, so they could search for a viable source of DNA to perpetuate their life forms, as they had to survive through cloning themselves, and they knew their civilization was eventually doomed until they could merge their DNA back with the original strain of human DNA that it once was hundreds and hundreds of years ago, or thousands and thousands, rather, of years ago. And these beings found your world as a viable source of that genetic information. And they knew that by assisting you, they would help you also prevent the possibility of going down the path that they went down. And together, humans and these beings have created, when we're talking in terms of going beyond linear time, because this is in the future, yet from our perspective it has already happened. So again, here from our perspective, they have created these hybrid races that are going to be the first to openly come and contact you. Now, there are many humans coming in that you could consider hybrids already. They have already received this information, so to speak, from these extraterrestrial groups to help bring the codes and energy into your world that will prepare you for what is yet to come. And actually, this has been occurring for perhaps 30 or 40 of your years, that souls were coming in already tuned into these codes. Yet, for a lot of you, the codes were laying dormant up until the point that you were ready to switch them on so that you could start to use that latent energy to change your reality. And at this time, there is a great influx of that energy, and it is about to bring about a new renaissance, so to speak, of beings that you are describing as starseeds, who have this multidimensional connection and can use that energy to shift realities around them. So, describing these hybrid beings a bit, they live in a quasi-physical reality, and they can move from physical to non-physical reality at will, meaning they can also shift physical reality. It does not have to be so stuck for them. With their intention and with their technology, many of the aspects of reality that you seem to experience as fixed and solid can shift quite quickly, and they can use their technologies to bend space-time to move very, very quickly from one part of this universe to another. And this is why when you see their ships, they appear in one moment and disappear in another, because they are not really traveling the same way that you travel. They are appearing and disappearing because they are bending space-time. We are sort of like more ancient beings, yet we do come from the future. We are the progressed version of souls that also trace back to the origins of humanity. There was a faction of Pleiadians that merged with another group of more reptilian beings, and they became the Anunnaki. The Anunnaki were in a cycle of devolving, and in order to survive, they created humans as a friendly group of servants that would help them mine gold from your planet in order to stabilize the atmosphere of their planet. However, not all members of the Anunnaki agreed upon this, and when the group of Anunnaki who split off and decided to make the Earth Project a reality were found out by the collective Anunnaki group. They were very not pleased, you could say. And the Anunnaki made plans to leave your planet and set you up to evolve on your own. Yet the original codes of being a servant and being one who submits to and even worships the outside figure of authority has always been programmed within you. And now, at this time, that old program is being broken as you are coming to this point of an Aquarian age. And your gateway of 2020 is symbolic of moving through the passageway, having 2020 vision, perfect balance, and perfect judgment of what is representative of your new times and what is representative of the old energies that were based upon fear and personal survival over the well-being of the collective. And so now you are being challenged, yes, to stand up in the face of those old energies and those old systems of subversion that teach you are not powerful. You must realize that reality will always conform to your personal description of it. When you believe something about yourself, you will experience the emotional equivalent. And it is hard to snap out of it until you realize you can believe anything you want, and that will be the experience you will have. So far as if you believed you could teleport, you would be able to teleport. Now, understanding that, you can make simple jumps. Perhaps you believe right now that you cannot have that much money, but if you believe that you could have just a little bit more, that will be your experience. Perhaps you believe it is hard to maintain relationships, but if you believe just a little bit more that you could have a certain type of relationship, you'd get there. These are small examples, though every time you prove to yourself, when you change your definition, you'll have a different experience. You will be able to make the bigger jumps in time, and you will find great star seeds. Those of you who are really willing to do the work at this time can make great and tremendous leaps forward if you choose to change your beliefs and choose to face those negative systems of conditioning and be firm in your new position. Now, as we have said, there are many different groups of extraterrestrial life that is coming and converging in your world at this time. And while they have come from a strange history, they are benevolent and they are loving. They are not what you are used to, so you must get used to the idea that things are going to change and you must step out of your comfort zone and into something new. So, with that said, we are happy to answer any of your questions about your own growth, your own transformation, and your own embodiment of power at this time, as that is the great theme that is coming through for you today, as you are aligning your energy in a new way with the true embodiment of empowered sovereign decisions and self-loving views of yourself and yourself in relation to the bigger picture. You may begin with your questions at any point you would like.
I believe that I am a starseed, and I have been so drawn to water and Atlantis and
Yes.
Isis. There's been a little confusion if I'm from Pleiades or Sirius.
You draw connections from both of them.
I do. I feel that I do.
Yes.
Okay. How I became awakened to my journey was through what I believed was a twin flame connection.
Yes.
And I have had such a hard time knowing if I should continue to believe and have hope and be open to that, or just let it go and try to let it go. It's been very difficult to let go, and I struggle. I would like advice.
Well, understand that here your definition of a twin flame is a bit of a distortion of how reality works. As you are a complete, perfect, sovereign being. You are complete in your individuality, and you need no outside other soul in order to reunite. The real merging, the real symbol of a reuniting with your twin flame is your individual soul merging back with your oversoul. And as you get to that oversoul level, you realize that your oversoul has many other aspects. And these aspects are you in the sense that they are part of the same oversoul. But then if you really use that kind of a framework, then everything is you too, because every oversoul is also unified in all that is.
Yes.
So these other soul aspects include both your, from your perspective, past and future and parallel lifetimes, and also other members of your soul family or members of your oversoul who are incarnate here and now today.
Yes.
And it feels like a coming home when you are with them, because the presence of your oversoul is ignited when you are very close in proximity to them. However, you do not necessarily need a romantic connection to feel that remerging with your oversoul when you are with members of your soul family, so to speak. Many other members of your soul family can play that role for you. And so by allowing yourself to use every single connection you have as a soulmate, as a reflection that brings you back into your connection with Source, you can easily release from any such attachment to the twin flame, and understand that this is a very common experience in your world, and ultimately it does come back to this feeling of humanity's abandonment from the Anunnaki, that you were in a way unified with your creators, and when they left, you were left feeling like you were all alone. And so humanity tries to seek through their relationships a reunion, a safety that means that you are again complete in your connection with your family. Yet at these higher levels, you are already in that state of completion. And that is not to say that relationships do not serve you, because they serve you very, very much. Though when you are attached to them, you limit them so much that all of the benefits of them are nullified. You must be open, you must be empowering the other person to understand their sovereignty as well as your own ability to freely choose what is best for you independent of the others, and still at the same time hold open that space of love that shows you the higher reality of your oneness together. Does that help you?
It does. It explains a lot why I miss them so much, and I have a hard time letting go of that.
Well, why do you have a hard time letting go?
Separation.
Yes.
Missing that energy being close to me. And I know we're not supposed to be separate. I know that we're all one.
Yes.
But the energy experienced when in that presence of that other person felt amazing.
Though, are there not other people who can hold that same space for you?
Not that I have discovered yet.
Though, are you open to that possibility?
I'm trying to be.
Are you trying, or are you opening? Because
I'm opening.
All right.
I'm opening and aligning my masculine and feminine.
Yes.
Coming together and being one, and knowing that I can't control the future. The past already happened. Yes. We're here right now.
Yes.
And I'm just merging it's really about my own self journey and love, and merging with my higher self.
Absolutely. So can you remember the feeling that was evoked? in the presence of this other?
Yes.
Do you notice any other connections or activities or experiences that you have that evoke that same feeling?
My own self-love.
Yes. So in that sense, what you really need from the relationship is already alive within you.
True.
So keep expanding into that feeling. And as you do, follow that guidance of your heart that will draw you towards experiences that will expand that feeling of love and completion. The more time you vibrate at that frequency, the more your energy will naturally draw towards you people who will expand that state. And there will be many, many more beloveds. And of course, that sort of relationship you desire will come back into your life. Though this time it will be better because in the meantime, that accomplishment of a sense of unity within yourself will mean that the attachment complex will dissolve so that you can fully experience complete unconditional love with the new beloved.
Which is myself.
And every other.
So
You are all the beloveds. Can you play with that?
Yes.
All right. Then we thank you very much. And we extend our love to you as our beloved as well.
Thank you.
I got a question.
Yes.
So, I'm trying to figure out when I have a certain vibration and I'm holding space for it to be kind of more pure and higher and feeling good and letting go of the vibration that was just there so that I can be in whatever is the highest for me.
Yes.
How do I maintain that when somebody that I'm close to goes to low vibrations and it wants to pull me in with it?
Well, that is a situation by situation experience. And so imagine, first of all, that you are simply vibrating at a frequency and they are vibrating at their frequency. And you are always meeting in the middle ground naturally. Though by shifting your focus to include a higher frequency component, and this can be a spiritual ally, such as a being like one of us, or an angel, or an elemental figure, or even a object like a crystal or something that vibrates at a very high frequency, and you shift your focus there, you can allow that frequency to continue to raise your vibration up in that presence of a lower frequency energy. Now, it is often very necessary for you to disconnect from those beings that want to stay stationary at their frequency. The beings that you can actually help will have a willingness, a desire, and a yes in them when you say, can you raise your energy? Can you choose a better feeling thought? Can you choose to let go and to meet me in love? And if they say no, then you must let them go, or else you will continue to lower into that negative frequency, and that is not your preference. And this is again running parallel to the question before, that the attachments to certain specific people is always going to hold you back. It is the feeling of love itself that is what is helping you raise your energy and helping the planet raise its energy. And there is oftentimes a splitting that occurs that is symbolic of the splitting between those of you who are really going to be the ones leading the way and holding the space for your planet to evolve, and those of you on your planet who are going to stay stuck until the very last moment. And that is going to hurt a lot for them. You see? So that is their choice, and you have to accept that that is their responsibility and not yours. Your responsibility is your own personal energy, and often that splitting has to occur. Though we realize we don't want to hear that. So what can we do?
I have a question.
Can we clarify that for you anymore, though?
Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No, it sounds good.
All right.
Everybody's got to be on their own path, and you can't do it for them. And they can have their experience, and you can have your experience. And I want to be able to hold the kind of space that I want to be in, and not be kind of thrown around by the space that other people are in.
Yes.
And I mean, I'd also like to help them, but I can't do it for them.
Do you speak thoroughly your message to them?
Yeah, they don't want to hear it.
Yes.
They
So,
feel like they already know it. It just it's a matter that they're not doing it.
from the way we read your energy and the energy of this question, this is a case where the splitting is necessary. There are other instances you may experience in the future, and many others hearing this now may experience, in which there is rather a need to thoroughly describe this experience, thoroughly bring to the surface a deep truth that is perhaps confrontational and still may not be what they want to hear, yet will plant a seed that allows for that transformation. And whether you are with them personally or at a great distance, the vibration of love that you send to them and offer to them will help raise their frequency. They may not want it, though eventually that energy that you are sending will be received and will start to work through them. So sometimes the distance is healthier for both of you. And at other times, you can actually explore these ideas and hold that open space of love and help them go through that process of releasing their negative belief systems holding them back. Though, again, you cannot take someone where they're not willing to go, but you can always plant the seeds. Can you play with that?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
We thank you very much. And yes, the next one of you.
Sorry to interrupt.
Oh, that is all right.
I'm just so excited. I just wanted to know if I had a connection to you.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so that's true.
Yes.
I feel that. Okay, and then I was wondering how to best serve the planet, because I feel like a chronic stress is what I'm supposed to do to best raise the frequency of Earth, because I feel like that's what I'm supposed to be doing.
Well, again, what we have originally said about coming into your heart's frequency and letting that joy of your heart be the guiding force that allows you to channel a high frequency energy simply by doing what you love is the very most important thing to do. So each and every one of you has a unique way to serve, and you are in a way conditioned to think and believe that you must all do something. And that seems very threatening and confusing, doesn't it? Do something. Do something quick. It is an emergency. And, well, yes, there is a great purgation happening and transmutation happening, though it is happening through great love. So there is this fear-based message that if you don't do it quick, something bad will happen. And you must release that belief system in order to stabilize and relax into your heart and know that the natural joy of your heart is always going to draw you towards the next biggest and most expansive thing. So it can be simple things. So let's say, what's exciting for you? What is most exciting for you? What fills you with the most love?
Plants.
All right.
Yeah, makes
So
sense.
you experience great excitement by working with plants, planting them, getting close to the earth.
Yeah.
Then that is your service to the planet. And the more you come to know about that and experience that and share that with others, the more that will also expand. Though your service to the planet is also in every other little aspect of your excitement as well. So, coming to a space like this, for example, you felt a frequency that brought you here. And there may be many other events that don't seem related to plants, which may be the bigger theme of excitement, yet they are equally important because they are an aspect of the bigger picture of your passion. And they are all part of it. So, include everything that ignites that feeling in your heart, and you will be living your purpose and giving back. And the more you can share that with others and express that and communicate that and put it out into the world, the more others can receive that and get that vibrational feedback as something that they can attune their frequency to as well.
Thank you.
Our thanks to you, our great love to you as well.
I have a question.
Yes.
So actually, at the last ceremony I attended months ago, you said something that stuck with me, and that was about living an inspired life. Everything, just being inspired by the just enthusiasm and just going towards that. And admittedly, at the time, it kind of annoyed me because
All right.
I was bogged down in this, like, gotta do the job, gotta do the whatever. But it planted this seed inside of me that, and now I'm kind of living by that mantra. Like, every next thing, does this excite me?
Yes.
Am I inspired by this? And it's led me down this path of quitting my day job, and I've been house sitting and just doing art, and I'm so in love. I'm so in love with this energy. I've got multiple projects going on, and none of it is bringing me any money or security or anything, but I'm just thoroughly enjoying having, art supplies and music and things just scattered about.
Yes.
What I'm wondering is, I love this lifestyle that I've been able to have, and I also deeply desire to have my own home, build a community, have some sort of like stability in that sense. And I'm wondering if I keep following this like inspiration and enthusiasm, do those things merge, or am I missing some aspects of, like, I want to do the right spiritual thing by following the enthusiasm and the inspiration, but I also don't want to like not be practical, so there's this voice inside of me that's like, are you being irresponsible somehow, by not like tending to like my security, which before, that's all I tended to, was like making sure I could pay the bills, but maybe not living a fulfilling life. So I'm wondering, how do I balance that, or am I balancing that? Like,
Though the way you are making decisions now, do you have a stable place to live and food to eat? Is that assured to some degree?
It's in the brief short term, yes.
Yes. Though you can know that to some degree your community, your family won't let you down, won't let you on the streets.
Possibly. I'm hoping that's the case.
All right. So in having that trust day to day that what you are doing is enough to get your needs met, that is an experience of abundance to some degree. And directing your excitement in your life is, of course, going to expand that joy even more and more. Also, you can be excited about and inspired about meeting your security in healthy ways. So it is also an exciting thing to do, to be able to provide for yourself to some degree. And it may simply be that medium point between doing something you really don't like doing in order to survive, and doing something you really like doing but doesn't really pay the bills, to finding something you both enjoy doing and pays the bills, so that you have just enough to take care of your basic needs, and you know with a degree of surety enough that you don't stress out about what may go wrong, and then direct all of your other time into your higher and more purposeful excitements. How does that feel to you?
That feels, yeah, about where I'm at. I guess
Yes.
I'm wondering, I would love to, I guess this energy of just making sure I get by. I'm wondering if I can ever get into that space of like really thriving.
Oh, yes, most certainly.
Like just really feeling held and secure and
You most certainly
you
can.
know,
Though, do you believe that?
I'm trying to. I'm every day trying to change thoughts that say that I don't or can't.
Are you trying, or are you changing them?
I'm changing them.
All right, good. So, yes, by seeing the beliefs that you are unworthy and incapable of accomplishing this and deserving all that you really wish for, seeing those beliefs as really ridiculous, as false, and throwing them aside, you can truly allow for these new belief systems to integrate in your system. So there may be many nuances to the negative beliefs that try to trick you into believing that you may not be worthy or something may go wrong. And when you can really examine them and embrace them in a way, they must be loved fully in order to transcend them. In order to go beyond them, you must accept that they have been running in this system and give them back to that larger human genome, that larger human control system from which they came. Realize that they have nothing to do with you, and that you may have practiced them for a long time, yet that was only the way that you experienced the conditioning that many go through. Really, those beliefs have nothing to do with you. Do you understand that?
Yes, thank you.
So the more you can disidentify from the beliefs, and the more you can disidentify from your own thoughts and simply come into observation mode, they will not seem as real to you. And then you can come to see what really is yours, is the unique expression of your empowerment and embodiment.
Okay.
And we would say that with many of the skills you are sharing, you are already very deserving of receiving in return for them, and receiving in exchange for them. So it's simply a matter of turning up the amplitude on that belief system.
Okay.
And in doing that, here's a word for you: shameless self-promotion.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes,
Can you speak more to that?
shameless self-promotion.
Yes.
It is simply a matter of going beyond the contradictory message you get from your conditioning, that you simultaneously must work and strive to be that great and powerful being, and at the same time, if you do so and you take from others too much, you are being bad. So you get these two messages, and they both show up at the same time. You are attempting to balance one idea that is true and valid, and one idea that is just there to kind of keep people out of the spotlight and keep only certain people in power. Now, if you throw away that belief system that it's not right to have, it's not right to shine, it's not right to take, and you say, here I am and I want this universe, here I am and I want this friends, here I am and I want this community, how can you support me? You will see the people that are really ready to shine in their own light, and the people that want to stay in the consensus trap of being limited and being just mundane and only having so much. Do you see what we're saying?
Yes.
The original questioner, yes?
Yeah. Oh, me. Yes.
All right. We see that you are also occupied with something else. That is all right. Thank you for the question. All right, something more from all of you.
Can I go again?
Sure, if no one else wants to speak.
So when I have these like belief systems that aren't necessarily serving me.
Yes,
I mean, definitely are not serving me.
yes,
And I can only see them kind of like sideways. I can't really like get a good picture of what these beliefs all are, but they're from childhood, and I'm wanting to throw in new beliefs, and trying to figure out how to make that jump, because like all my body and my thought patterns and everything is just like used to certain vibrations and patterns, and just staying in whatever this rut is that I was born into, and I want to be in a different rut, and I'm working and I'm doing stuff to switch over to like patterns and thoughts and vibrations that are serving for me and everybody, and feel good. And
So here's the missing piece. It's not in the work, it's in the belief.
Mhm.
So the belief itself is what really brings about the greatest shift. When you commit to a new idea about yourself and you commit to an attitude of self-love, the transformation happens. And the action that you are taking is simply the resonant permission slip. It's what allows you to accept the belief. So you must only find the permission slip that most resonates with the belief that you prefer to have about yourself. And the act of doing it is something that, yes, you must put all of your energy into, though there is some sort of an idea that mechanically getting that permission slip right is what's going to do it, that you are all taught. And it's really not about that. It's more about finding the pathway, the permission slip, the activity, the healing modality, the group of people, the community, the form of art and expression that is most resonant for you personally, and using that fully to commit to a new idea and a new attitude about yourself. That's all. So when you do this, there is a flush that occurs. There is a healing process that the old negative energies get flushed from your system, and this happens through feeling them. So one thing that is very helpful for you to do is to imagine that you can place in front of you into a box all of your thoughts. You have this own little box that travels around with you, and it is an etheric object, so it is not necessarily something you need a symbol for, but if you would like a crystal that can kind of hold that box for you, that is a helpful thing to do. Now place this box in front of you, and one by one, whenever you are feeling stressed or confused, sit down and put all of those thoughts into the box. See them show up as maybe little pictures or symbols that represent a group of thoughts or ideas that you seem to focus upon. And then that symbol will allow you to stop focusing upon the thoughts and go directly into the sensations and emotions in your body. Much like you began this process today, this ceremonial experience, you could say, you took that time to really feel in your body and use your breath and use this visualization to clear the energy patterns. And this is one of the most efficient ways to come back to that state that you prefer, because you disidentify from the thoughts and you get to the core level of the experiential sensations and energy patterns and vibrations that are stored within the body. And when you can simply breathe into those sensations and label them sensation, feeling, emotion, and disregard the thoughts. Stop trying to decipher the thoughts. Stop trying to prove or validate to yourself, this thought is right, this thought is wrong. There's no right or wrong. There's a good feeling one and there's a bad feeling one. Which one do you want? Okay? So disassociate from the thoughts in that way and focus only upon the feelings, and choose to label all of those feelings as just feeling. It's just sensation. Let them be present and breathe into them. And you will create this schism between the feeling and the thoughts, and eventually those belief systems, because they have been disconnected from their life force. The life force for them is the feelings and the sensations. And when you cut off their source of life and you take that energy back, the belief system has to die. You will find that this box is a prison. It is a death chamber for the thoughts that you don't want. Play with that. Can you?
Yeah. I like
All right.
it.
Pleiadian Council.
Yes.
Last time I spoke to you, I was talking about my relationship and an important transition I'm in now, and we talked about a possible or likely separation needing to occur, and I've been contemplating having this conversation with my beloved tomorrow, but every time I think about it, I get heart palpitations and cold feet, and I think, what the hell am I thinking?
All right.
And I feel like backing out of the whole thing, and I'm wondering, is it just
Well,
long
again,
time?
when is this separation period happening, when you will have much physical time apart?
So he leaves December 1st on his family vacation, and then I will be gone for 3 weeks. We actually don't even meet.
Can
when
you
he
postpone the
returns.
meeting till exactly right before that departure time?
Possibly, but I feel like, well, okay, so there's the Thanksgiving holiday, and I just feel like if I speak now, I'm possibly ruining the holiday. But then again, I feel like there's not much time between the Thanksgiving holiday and when he leaves, and I don't want to shock him right before he leaves, so I don't know what the best thing is. And it is the new moon on Tuesday, and
What's the best feeling thing for you? Because part of this is, again, giving yourself away to others, placing how they feel before how you feel. And really, how they feel has more to do with what they believe than with you. So focus on what's going to feel better for you in this case.
I don't know, I feel like I'm getting into my head about it too much, because it seems like no matter which way I choose seems to be, I just freak out in my body. I've also contemplated what it would be like after we return for our March trips, which isn't until January 7th when I'm back in the same physical space with him. But at the same time, I know that that would...
At that point, you're only postponing.
Right. Exactly.
So the more you postpone, the more you hold on to this feeling of anxiety.
Right.
And once you speak your truth, that feeling of anxiety will go deeper into other things that may be seemingly heavier to process, yet they will also release this alchemical gold. As when you can embrace those things, they will in turn become your greatest gifts, your greatest lessons, your greatest love. So if you can sit with a more positive attitude about the transmutation process, understanding that you cannot get to the other side of the swamp on a magic carpet in this situation. You must go through the swamp. But on the other side of the swamp, there is a paradise. So how long do you want to sit in the swamp? Because if you stay where you're at, you may sink into it and get stuck. Or if you trudge through it, you may find that it is not as bad as it seems, and actually moving through the swamp is softer, is nicer than staying in one spot and feeling like you're sinking into it.
So the options are either in the next, couple days, sometime before we share this lovely meal together, which I just feel like, I guess it's because I don't know how he will respond. I don't know what outcome would be best. I guess I'm trying to go into how he will respond to gauge what's the best timing for me and us both.
Though again, this isn't about how he will respond. There is not any way that you can make this inevitable response any easier. You can only at this point focus upon how you are going to respond to his reaction. Are you going to in turn react in fear, or are you going to hold your space in love? So, because you share space together, we suggest waiting till that very point, right directly before you leave and go off on your own journeys. This gives him time to space to process it, and it gives you a safer way to communicate with him at a distance, so that your living situation, which has a direct effect on your health, well-being, is not threatened by the tension that is inevitable. So you are trying to postpone the inevitable, avoid the inevitable, soften the inevitable, and we are saying you simply must go through it. And you can accept that and find love for yourself in the process, or you can internalize what is projected at you and make it worse than it has to be. That's your choice.
And as far as the nature of the conversation, I'm wondering if I should pose it as a question, as like a decision we can both come to about our relationship, and
So that you
possible-
can open the window of being manipulated.
Oh. Well, I guess today when I was thinking about, like, oh my gosh, like, if I say it, is it really going to be final, like I'm ending the relationship, or can it just be, like, a separation period that I'm asking for, that then will...
Do you believe that asking for that separation period will make it easier on both of you, even if you know that you're not actually asking for that, but you are really asking for a total end?
Well, today I've been confused because I feel like I have been in grief all day today, and having, like, diarrhea, and feeling like almost like questioning myself, is this really what I want? Because there's so much that is so wonderful about our connection, that, and I don't know if it's just my human self having second thoughts.
In that case of doubt, then your idea is very good. Though we wouldn't make it something negotiable. We would say we have to take a break and think about things deeper.
Mm.
Don't open up the space. Pose it as a question in the sense of, how would you feel about doing this? But I'm going to do it anyway. Maybe that makes it easier. But again, we understand, because of the nature of this mixed vibration, part of you wants something and part of you wants something else, as we have talked about before. You have to sit with and honor both parts of yourself, and this break idea makes it easier for you, though again realize it is about you and not about the other so much, as you may have seen in these sorts of intense situations. They don't hold your true best interests at heart. They hold what they propose or what they believe to be your best interests at heart. And without this true ability to connect with you, you are not going to get everything you need from this relationship.
So the definite is that I'm taking this space and this time for myself, but I think what's causing me remorse today is I feel like, who am I to say that it's the end of the actual relationship?
Well, relationships don't ever end.
Right.
They only transition.
Right.
Though it is clearly an end to one chapter of it.
Right.
Though your connection can live on forever as a deep friendship. And so frame it in a way that you are proposing that, at least.
I guess today the part that's in grief is the part that is feeling like I'm going to miss that physical connection that can't be replaced. You know, that it can only
We
come
understand.
one time, you know?
Yes, we understand.
I feel like that's the part that could go on forever.
Yes.
So, how do I actually give space to that part?
As you are doing by feeling and releasing these emotions, the attachment, and allowing yourself to be in that process, holding a space of love for yourself in that process.
And what do I do with the part of me that's trying to like renegotiate and say like, oh, but maybe it could work and maybe we actually could have a future together that is functional? Does that possibility not exist?
Simply witness it. Witness that part of you. Do not attach to any idea. Though, know that your heart's knowing is more powerful than any attachment you have.
And on some level, does his soul already know that this separation is impending now?
Yes,
And how much is he actually conscious of?
not very much, but his higher self, his higher mind certainly knows.
Because I feel like I just gonna break his heart.
Yet, every time the heart breaks, the heart comes to open to greater love. And again, using this metaphor of the swamp, one must trudge forward through the swamp when one is already in the middle of it, knowing that at the other end is something much softer, much more beautiful. The heart, every time you come to experience this depth of separation that is already programmed within you, that has already been conditioned into you through all that you have witnessed and all you have been taught and all you have been shown through the stories humans tell themselves. has to come out and has to transform. And the process of doing that is never easy. Yet the process of doing that always leads to liberation and always shows you that the truest love has no limits and is ever present.
So there can always only be more of me
Yes.
and nothing else.
Yes.
I guess is this part of the part of me that doesn't want to leave thinks that maybe I'm going to be less of me if I choose to leave.
That may be your belief system. That may be the way you translate that feeling of loss. Though we assure you, you will discover you only become more of yourself. It is not possible to become less of yourself. We can assure you that it may not be easy, yet everything will be all right. And you will find greater love through great times of challenge.
I've also come up with 2 possible witnesses. One is female and is a good friend of his,
Yes.
and I have a mutual connection and trust as well. But she's not free until after Thursday, and then the other is male and is maybe more available time-wise. But since now it looks like I'm postponing the conversation till right before he leaves anyway, do you see an advantage to either one, or is either okay?
We're not saying you must follow that suggestion. It was really only a way to tease you into finding your truer knowing. Though here, again, with these situations, with either figure, both will do. There may be a greater alliance, a feeling of less threat with another male ally.
Even though he has a stronger connection with the female.
Well, in this case, perhaps both of them will do.
Together? Or either? Or
Either
just
or
one?
both.
Either or both, okay.
Ultimately, we actually cannot say what is going to help the most, though this is only because there are factors, there are variables in these other people's lives that are shifting. And so simply be in the moment, be present with it as it arises, and you will know in the right time and space how this situation must play out.
So just feel into my heart.
Yes. All right, we thank you. That will do for now.
Thank you very much.
Is there any final inquiries at this time?
Okay, I have one more.
All right.
I have been trying for months to access the Akashic records and just have been unable. Do you have any suggestions?
Well, really this idea of the Akashic records is in a way a bit outdated. So, all is one, and the one is in all. And this really means the information of the entire universe can be found in every single constellation, in every single piece of information that is presented to you. It is a hologram for the entire thing. And you really will know all that you need to know when you need to know it, when you surrender your need to know. That great paradox is illuminating in this realm of intuition. So when you open up to your higher guidance and you ask your guides to come through, and you enter into this altered state of consciousness necessary to do so, the information presented to you will be much more complete than any such record, because again, every time you observe any aspect of creation, any vibration present within creation, the act of observing it changes it.
Right.
So the Akashic records, when you observe any such record or soul memory, every time you look at it, it is different. And so many people will go to psychics and then they get a reading on their lifetime, but then simply hearing that information will change that past life that they observed. But because they had no awareness of that, they will keep telling the story of the past life as they were told it by the psychic, and they will keep themselves stuck in the same pattern.
Right.
A more dynamic approach is necessary in these times, in surrendering your need to know and simply coming back to that passion in your heart. What is that calling you forward to? And when you follow your heart's passion and you set aside the time to meditate or alter your consciousness in a way that you can access the higher dimensions, your guides and your intuition will simply give you the information that you need.
Okay. I feel like I can channel my higher self
Yes.
very well.
Yes.
And I really hear my spirit guides and have very good guidance systems in place, and that's been wonderful. I wanted to know more about past lives that I've had, and I've been having experiences where they're coming up, but I wanted to know more. I wanted to research more. I want to know.
Continue seeking those connections to your other lifetimes and do regression work through some guided meditations or shamanic journeying protocols, and the information you need will come to you. Do not attach to any one method or modality or dogma, especially that last one, around how this needs to present itself. For you have your own tuition, you have your own way that this information translates to you. So it is most important to trust the way it shows up for you and not compare it to the way it shows up for someone else.
Yes, that makes sense. And the information does come when I need it. I think it's my ego mind wanting to be nosy.
Yes, most certainly.
Thank you.
All right, and we thank you as well. And now let us all come together and conclude this process together with a final meditation and process that will allow you to all take in more of these cosmic energies together and earthly energies as well. And again, it starts all here in your heart. Picture a great figure 8 symbol representing infinity, the infinite one within you, and see it move back and forth, dancing in this motion. Great circuits of light and energy moving from one side of your chest to the other through the center point of your heart. And with each and every breath, this light gets brighter and the light dances more powerfully. And again, allow for this dance figure 8 to replicate itself, creating 2 loops. A second one then that extends and stretches for the top of the loop to go through the crown of your head and the bottom of the loop to go through the base of your spine. And see these 2 loops of light dancing, extending their energy. Allow this vertical tube of light or spiral of light to generate then a column that moves through your spine and goes infinitely up and down in both directions, Allow the column to expand wider and wider to become a crystal chamber filled with liquid light and energy. Feel this liquid light flows in both directions, breathing in energy from the earth and energy down from the cosmos. And from your heart, project these great roots of light that grow down deep into your earth. See the roots grow out through the column and go into this mycelium grid where the roots of all of the other plants and this mostly invisible field of electromagnetic energy dances across your planet. All of these plants that nourish you are always in communication with each other, and in communication with you should you listen with your feet and see with your feet. Let this energy follow up and in. And exhale your energy down into that grid, feeling your connection here and dropping even deeper. Through a grid of crystals, minerals, and metals that goes around your planet. All of these same elements making up the chemical composition of your body, taking in these energies and exhaling that energy down into the earth. Going even deeper to a layer of the earth described as a black lake, where thousands and millions of years of life decompose to create fossil fuels and deep buried treasure, you could say. While it appears dark, it is what life is built upon, and what its life has decayed into. Still alive, its genetic code travels up to you as you breathe it in and exhale, going deeper now into this plasma layer of the earth, the molten magma, hot, bright, much like a sun within the earth. Feel this energy traveling up, bringing it into your heart, and sending your love, gratitude down deeper into that layer and all the way down to the earth's vibrating heart, the solid iron crystal core of the planet, creating this Schumann resonance. Feel its solidity, its great power, and feel its vibration, its slowness, its stability. Breathe that energy up, taking the earth's heart up into your heart and all of these elements and layers here into your center. And now allow your channel to open above and beyond to these higher realms, seeing a silver and a gold thread of light that weave up from your heart out through your head, the silver dancing up to the moon, taking in this lunar frequency, that which gives balance, gives cycles, in its perfect size and combination. Your moon allows your planet to live in harmony and equilibrium, feeling its energy descending into you with a silver light that channels into your body, awakening your intuition. And then send your energy projected up into your sun, this life-giving force, seeing the gold energy from your heart connect up to the place where all souls in the solar system are unified, to the place where all life originates, where there is a great, tremendous consciousness that connects the solar system to the bigger web of energy. Picture this golden light descending into you. Breathe it into your heart. And send your energy and awareness up into your sun and out through this great galactic grid now. A network of energy that goes from your sun to the many stars far beyond within the galaxy, You may know them by many names: Arcturus, Sirius, Alcyon, Maya, and many others. You need not know exactly where they are to imagine, to feel this energy powerfully descending into your body like a cascade or waterfall of great tremendous light. Lights of blue, white, gold, and red swirling together. And knowing that as you open and as you picture and visualize these energies, your family is here, creating a network of light in this room, preparing to open you even deeper. Now send your energy and your awareness even all the way up to the center of your universe, a supermassive black hole. Yet go through that great darkness, that great gravity, to a solid point, singularity, smaller than the point of a needle, in the center of that black hole. Open that point up and see what you find. As it is here that your universe connects to all other universes, your galaxy to all other galaxies within this one. A network beyond your ability to even fathom. Yet translate it in the way that you can. Allow that energy to also descend into you through this crystal chamber, bringing in the energy of the galactic center and all the stars, the galactic council deep into your heart, unified with the Earth's heart. And as you return to that figure 8, now see the loop. Extend up to the center of the universe, extend down to the center of the Earth, and as you take a few moments to breathe in this energy, allow these two currents to merge, to unify. Allow your heart to know that, wow, it may seem to perceive from outside, all that appears from out there can be found in here. Let your heart swirl and integrate these energies with each and every breath, and feel the great love that is there for you in this universe. You are love and you are loved. And as we allow the channel to return, we never leave. You may know us always here in your heart. Ciao for now.